Hey everyone, welcome back to StarboyScents. It's been a while for me. I think 6 months since I last technically recorded. Um, and we got a new mic. Hopefully it sounds good. I don't know if it's going to be good or not. We're going to have to listen back, and if it sucks, I'm going to redo this whole video so you won't even see it. But if it doesn't suck that bad, this is going to be nice. I don't have to go over here to my mic that I had over here. I had a Yeti. But today we're going to be doing something a little different at StarboyScents. I know we have the fragrances back here, but today is not as much about the fragrances. I did a community post. Some of you asked for it and wanted to ask some questions. So I got 6. Hopefully this goes up soon. We'll see how lazy I am with editing. But we'll start off with, I'll put it over here. Maybe I'll try to get screenshots and put it here. I'm saying that now so that way future me does it. But from what's the smell? What's that smell? Happy to see this. What would you say are your least favorite fragrances? Has your nose improved since you first got into fragrances? Are there any fragrances that you smell everywhere? So my least favorite, I don't know the name of it, but it is a Roja one. It's going to sound weird, but it's one of the expensive ones. It's like $1,000 for the bottle. It has like a black cap on it, and I don't know if it's like bad. Some people love it. I know people buy it. And this is just off my nose. When I smell it, it smells like a porta potty. It smells like, I know that's gross. That's what it smells like to me. I've heard the story behind it. It's a really cool story of what it's supposed to smell like. But to me, for my nose, it just smells not great. So that would be my least favorite. I don't really have one other than like ones that are more, yeah, I don't know. I think that would be the one I would say. Has my nose improved? Yes, but so like I understand some of the terminologies that I don't use or some of the notes that I don't use. I get what those are now. So I can pick them out here and there. But I also don't want to get too technical. So I try not to be overly technical with things, even with myself, just because I still want to go off like what feelings things give me, what vibe it has, that kind of thing. I would say it has though, and you know my friends that work at like Neiman Marcus and stuff, they always try to help me out with that kind of stuff. So yes, but probably not as much as it could have if I was really like invested in getting a better nostrils. And then fragrances I smell everywhere. The one that I smell everywhere that I don't mind smelling everywhere is Baccarat Rouge 540, because there's so many clones of it. I probably have like 10 Latafa, Al Haramain, whatever. Then I have 2 bottles of the real stuff, and then Cloud, Ariana Grande, that smells just like it. You know what I mean? All those, you smell that everywhere. And I don't think it's a bad thing. So I think it's changed from what we used to smell everywhere. Like I feel like one of my friends was asking about like a Nautica scent, and I was like, honestly, that used to be like the go-to back in the day. People loved Nautica, you know what I mean? But now it's kind of old school. It's kind of played out. It still smells good. It's not like it smells bad, but it doesn't have that wow factor anymore. So yeah, I think those are my questions. That's my answers there. And then I got, next up, we have Liam GD4QI. Hope it's okay to ask something a bit different. You come home and catch a whiff of a funny smell. How would you react? Would you need to find it, or would you just try and cover it up? You can't find it and smell gets worse. How would you go about locating the source? How much would it annoy you? Any good stories you have about sniffing around for source of strange smell? Honestly, if I smell something weird, I'm looking for it. And if I can't smell it, I'm getting upset. Normally, I've been pretty good at that, like finding where a smell is coming from. My nose is like, I won't say I have like the best nose, but it is pretty sensitive to certain things. Mainly bad smells. So I've had it before where, you know, I work out in the garage for my full-time job, and I'll have had like dinner the night before and, you know, throw stuff in the trash. And the next day it's, you know, it's a little 6 feet away or whatever, sometimes closer if I have sunflower seeds or something, I have it right next to me. But, and I can just I smell something. I'm like, and it always ends up being that I just have to like take the trash out, or you know what I mean. So I haven't had any like crazy stories. I try to keep things like, I wouldn't say like I'm a clean freak. I tend to leave like where I record right now is actually, it's my closet. I have way too many hoodies. I don't even have enough to fit in here. I have a few that aren't even hanging up. So, and I have a lot of jackets and whatever. But sometimes I'll do all my laundry in one day and then it'll just be in a pile on the floor, which I know is horrible, but it's like clean. And it's not like I dirtied the floor up. I cleaned the floor, but then it'll just be in a pile for until I decide I can hang it up. And sometimes that takes weeks, I'll be honest. But other than that, I try to stay clean. So I haven't had too many crazy stories. So I apologize if that's not the best answer. But if I come into another story, I'll reply to it and let you know that it happened. And then next up, Jane the Jubilant. Nice one. Are there any fragrance or fragrance notes which negatively affect you, like make you sneeze or tickle your nose? What's your ultimate date night fragrance? It's good questions. Good questions. Everything's been good so far. I forgot to say it, and I was like, oh, I should probably say these are good or bad. Not that there's really any bad questions. They're all good. But fragrance notes that make me react negatively, I think just like very strong fragrances, it doesn't matter what. They don't it's not negative, but they just they do hit my nose. So like Mind Games fragrances, they came out with the Mentor and what's the other one? Prodigy. And the first time I went to smell them, I smelled Mentor first, and then I smelled Prodigy. But Mentor is so strong right off. I sprayed, and I was like, boom! I sneezed just because it was so much, and I think my nose was like, hey, whoa, something's going on there. It smelled really good, but then I couldn't smell Prodigy that well afterwards. It just overloaded my nose, and then I went back a week later and smelled Prodigy first, and I liked it way better. Not that Mentor is bad; they're both really amazing fragrances, but just one was just so strong right off the bat that it overloaded, made me sneeze, made me oh man, okay, not a headache or anything, but that's kind of where that one is. Also, ultimate date night fragrance. Ultimate date night fragrance. I think I'm gonna have two. It depends. I know that's not a great answer, but it depends. I think I will say some of these Valentino, for something that's not super expensive but can smell really good, the Born in Roma collection. I think this is Coral Fantasy, but it's kind of new take on classic type scents. It smells really good, and I don't know. I know my dad wears some of this stuff too, and he said he gets the most compliments when he wears it. So it's one that it's not overpowering. It smells good. It can be good for a casual setting, so you're not going too crazy with the niche, and it's a lot better price. So I would say that for ultimate date night would be one of those. Or I've never smelled the original. This is gonna be crazy, but Dolce & Gabbana the One I've heard is amazing for that. But I have the Luminous Night, which is this one it's very different. Well, not very different, but it's different, but it's in such a way that no one will smell like you if you're wearing that. So yeah, I guess it really depends. If you want to be a little more, I know I'm giving 3 answers now. There's a third. Tom Ford Eau d'Ambre Leather is if you want to be a little more, I guess, masculinely, not the other ones aren't masculine, but it has a little bit of leather, but it's a sexy leather. You have this leather mysterious mystique. I feel I don't know, but it's around you and it has that. So yeah, I think those are my answers for that one. We'll see if you agree or what you think. If you have any responses to what I'm saying here, you have different answers or you think someone else may like something different, put it in the comments below. All right, let's go. User formerly known as T, are there any weird smells you really like that you'd like to see in as fragrance notes? Outside of fragrance, what's the worst smell you've ever experienced? Okay, notes I really like. I'm from Indiana, so petrichor, that smell of right before it's about to rain, like on the asphalt, that kind of smell. I love that smell, and I love thunderstorms, that kind of thing. So I would think it'd be really cool to have that implemented in a fragrance. I don't know how well it would work. I know places have tried to say they have like the smell of rain, and I smell it doesn't smell anything like it. It doesn't, and I feel like they know it doesn't smell anything like it, or maybe they're in a different area where it does smell like that. But from where I'm from, it doesn't smell like that. So I think that would be one that I definitely want to have as a note. I don't know if it's that weird. I feel like it's not that weird. They've done like gasoline, stuff that's like more gasoline centric or whatever, which some people, I mean, I like kind of like getting a whiff of gas when you're away from it. It smells good. I don't huff gas. I'm looking at you. I don't do it. You better not. But yeah. And the worst smell I've ever experienced, when I was right out of high school, before my freshman year of college, I worked with my brother as a plumber. And they did a dig job because these pipes, there was these old clay pipes. And clay pipes, roots and everything just goes straight through them. So if you have old clay pipes, there's probably roots in it, and you're probably gonna have to get replaced. So we had to replace the pipes, but it was way down this like I want to say it was like a 10-foot down dig to get to these pipes and find where the blockages were so you could like pull whatever through. And I remember I was sitting there trying to help them get whatever, and they pull out this, oh my gosh, it was like an 8-foot long like just all connected. It was all like roots, toilet paper, poop, whatever, just all that had been stuck, and that was clogging that pipe down in these people's yard. And I remember that came out, and I like immediately almost threw up because it was just the worst smell of stuff that's just been sitting there for probably years at this point, years to months to days, and yeah, I would never wish anyone to have to smell that. So plumbers, I feel your pain. I don't want to do that anymore. And I didn't. After that summer, I never did it again. And then let's see. Okay, next, the Lady Cleo. Love a Q&A. Always like to ask, have you had any funny or embarrassing interactions or reactions to fragrances you're wearing? My reading is very off today. I don't know why. I can't read today. But have you ever had any funny or embarrassing reactions to fragrances others are wearing? Let's see. For me wearing it, I don't know if I've had anything like really funny or embarrassing. Like I could see like I'm wearing something and somebody's like allergic to something in it, like they're somehow allergic to saffron, or you know what I mean, something like that. But I haven't had anything really crazy like that, honestly. I think no. I have stories of like other people, and I don't know if they're funny per se, but like I went to do an audition for like a San Diego Swim Week, and I don't have a swim week body. I don't, but one of my friends was working it, and she was like, "Come through, try it out." I was like, "All right." And this dude that was like working with them walked through. He walked by me, and I stopped him. I go, "Hey, wait, is that Dolce & Gabbana light blue?" And he was like, "Hell yeah!" But then we became friends after that. So just stuff like that where like I can kind of pick up on certain things, or a lot of times it's people wearing like something. I'm like, oh, it smells like Baccarat Rouge, but I'm like, instead of asking, are you wearing BR540? I'm like, are you wearing Cloud by Ana Grande? And they're like, yeah, I am. And I'm like, it smells good. And they're like, how'd you know that? And I was like, I've spent too much money and time in fragrances. So yeah, I don't have anything super funny or embarrassing. I wish I had something better. I'll try to keep thinking on it, and maybe put it in a comment reply, because I know this answer isn't the greatest. I'll be honest. I know it's not. I know it's not great, but I'm not super, I don't go around like, I actually I wear fragrances, but I don't wear them all the time. I know with having all these, like I also have a lot of watches. I don't wear them all the time. Sometimes I just want to go out of the house and smell like the body wash I wore. Sometimes I just don't leave the house, so I don't need to wear it. And sometimes if I'm going to a place that has fragrances, I don't put a fragrance on because I'm like, I'll just see what they have, see if there's anything I want to wear there. That's the plan, at least. Okay. And then the last question. I know you're a gamer. Are there any games that remind you or that you could pair with fragrances? From James Darnley. Did I already see James Darnley 1827? I feel like I didn't. Maybe I did, and my brain just. But so, are there any games that remind me of fragrances or that you could pair with fragrances? That's a really good question. Again, all good questions, but I hadn't thought of video games and fragrances together because that's an untapped market. I can't release this anymore because now I have to do videos on fragrances and video games. No, I should do a whole video on that. That'd be cool, like pairing fragrances with games. I feel like it'd be easier to do like characters in games, like Marvel Rivals. Like I know they're all like Iron Man he'd be wearing a Ventus. Iron Man would wear a Ventus. We know that. Like, come on now. But just stuff like that, I think it'd be cool. But games themselves, let me think of games. Like, I'm a fan of Mass Effect. And that actually, okay, this is a fragrance that I think actually goes in line with Mass Effect. I know it's not an official anything, but I got a sample of one coming out. That's the reason it reminds me of. It's the Harmonious. I think it's like something Nebula, Star Nebula, something. I should look it up. Let me look it up. I know, like, I'm on my phone here anyway, so that's releasing actually pretty soon. Is it Oud Nebula? Oud Nebula. And the reason I think it goes with it is because it's got the space theme, right? But then there's also like a leather note in this and a sweet note. And like, I just picture, I know it's not necessarily leather, but you know, Shepard is wearing like leather attire or, you know, similar, kind of looks carbon fibery, but it's like leather, but it's space. So you have that like combining of the two. And I think that this actually kind of captures that. So for their coming out soon, Oud Nebula, I'm going to make a video on that. But it might just come out like now when I'm recording this, like the day I'm recording it or something. But yeah, I think that one strikes me immediately, and that's one that just came out. So I'm trying to think if there's any other games that I've been playing recently. If it's not video games, like if it's Magic the Gathering or like a card game, think of the worst smelling fragrance or thing you've smelled, and that's probably what matches with it. I love Magic, I play it, but you go to some of those things and the people stink. You know what I'm saying? What would Call of Duty be? Because I play a lot of Call of Duty. I feel like Call of Duty's not sweet. Call of Duty's like I don't even know. I'm trying to think of like what I have. I have more sweeter stuff. But yeah, I think Call of Duty would be, actually Call of Duty would probably be red tobacco. Like in your face. Actually it is. It's red tobacco. It's in your face, and like now you look at games and you're like, this sucks. But then over time you're just like, well, yeah, I'll play it because it's something that you grew up with and you played your whole life and did that. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. So yeah, that's a Q&A. Hopefully I can do another one soon. We'll get some more people in there. You know, share, like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully you enjoy the content, and we're going to be recording some more, hopefully. So, yeah, until next time, peace.